through 3 hours of the regular show on terrestrial radio, and you wanted a little bit more, so that's why you found the Gun Talk After Show podcast, where we saved all the best things that we can't say on regular radio. Now here's Tom, Michelle, and Jim for the Gun Talk After Show.
All right, it's the after show. We are gathered together to do mayhem and craziness here. We have Jim Kinsey over there. Hello, James.
Greetings, sir.
And Michelle Cleland's trying to keep us on the right track. Once again, unsuccessful.
Somebody has to try.
Are you saying that we're trying? Is it,
well,
we try your patience?
There are times more so than others.
Which is like, say, 2% of the time we're not trying your patience.
Oh.
So, okay, we got a lot of folks on hold. Let's get to them now. Line 2, Mark is in Springfield, Missouri. Hey, Mark, you made it to the after show. How are you?
Hello, I'm here to just comment on the NRA. I heard you comment that they spend an incredible amount of money on lawyers, and those people are more interested in legalese, not in actual law that comes to us from the Constitution. Our rights are there, but when we're drug into legal contracts, then we lose our standing or jurisdiction, and that's how we get drug into all these little arguments about, well, the gun barrel length or the amount of rounds in a magazine. Those have nothing to do with anything, because this whole discussion about the Second Amendment and the guns, it's all more about a rights issue, and it's a bigger issue, and it's mired down into all these little nitpicking details. And that's what I wanted to point out, is that there's a act called the Dick Act, and people need to go back and review that. Attorneys make way more money arguing about all these little nitpicking issues instead of going way back to the very beginning.
Let me stop you, Mark. Mark, let me stop you, because when I say they're spending $100,000 a day on lawyers, that's not doing anything for the Second Amendment. That's on their personal defense. They're spending $100,000 a day to defend the officers and the board against the investigations that are being done. These aren't people who are working for the Second Amendment. These aren't people who are working on court cases involving gun rights. This is just people who are defending the NRA officers and board of directors now.
Okay, and that's fine and well, but the point I'm trying to make is this Second Amendment issue is a big and important issue, but we're missing the forest for the trees. We need to realize that as American nationals, we have constitutional rights, but when we become sovereign citizens, now we're corporate subjects to a corporate government that's in the District of Columbia. Those people are imposters. They're acting under color of law. They're a de facto corporate government, and they have no business telling
I hear what you're saying. I'm just saying that I think you weren't. Maybe you weren't following the whole story about the NRA and what's been going on with them. But look, I appreciate the call, sir. Thank you. I got several people lined up. We got to get to them. Drew's on 4 out of Nevada. Drew, you got something on your mind. What's cooking?
Well, Tom, I've got two things, the Second Amendment and assault weapons.
Okay.
The problem with the Second Amendment seems to be that a total misunderstanding of that first clause, a well-regulated militia. The militia was clearly defined at that time as being all male citizens. Now it'd be all citizens,
right,
age 17 to 45 composed the militia. And the term well-regulated, at that time, well-regulated meant adjusted or trained. So to, shall we say, update the wording, it would it would now read a well-trained civil populace.
Correct.
And,
No, you're absolutely right. You've nailed it squarely on the head. That's exactly what it meant. And it certainly did not mean that it's a weird way of thinking to imagine that the founders would say, we want to guarantee that only the central government, which we oppose, has a monopoly on guns, has a monopoly on force. That would have been so 180 degrees opposite of what they were doing. It just makes no sense at all.
Yeah, it would have been totally in reverse from one of their greatest fears at the end of the Revolution and when they were writing the Constitution was to have a government that had an organized military that could control the civil populace.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. It's a great call. In explaining the prefatory clause, the introductory clause to the Second Amendment, which confuses some people, I think a lot of them pretend to be confused. Here's what it says. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Take that same thing, because they say, well, that means that only the militia has guns. Really? All right, let's do it this way. Restate it this way. A well-educated population being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and read books shall not be infringed. Now, does that mean that only the well-educated people can have books, or does it mean that everybody can have books so that we can have a well-educated population? Makes sense to me. Tell you what, let's do. John, Gary, don't go anywhere. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to be back to you in just a moment here. Be right back.
The Kimber Evo SP is a 9mm carry gun with reliability you can count on and looks you can brag about. And now, you can save $100 with a rebate on the Kimber Evo SP. Learn more about this great deal on the Kimber Evo SP at KimberAmerica.com. That's KimberAmerica.com. Or ask about the Kimber Evo SP at your local gun dealer.
It's the Bill of Rights, not the Bill of Needs. I'm Alan Gottlieb, founder of the Second Amendment Foundation. When someone says we don't need that kind of gun, remind them the Founding Fathers determined what rights our Constitution should protect. There's a world of difference between rights and needs. It is not the function of government to tell us what we need or what we don't. Certainly no one needs an assault rifle or a Saturday Night Special, or for that matter, no one needs a Corvette with a high-capacity horsepower engine capable of speeds to 150 miles per hour. But in the hands of honest, responsible individuals, we have the right of choice. We have the right to read books others don't like. We have the right to listen to any radio program we choose. We have the right to dress the way we want to. We also have the right to own firearms of our choice. So the next time someone tells you, you don't need something, tell them it's the Bill of Rights, not the Bill of Needs. Join the Second Amendment Foundation today so that this message and our Bill of Rights might live. Call 425-454-7012. That's 425-454-7012.
All right, and we are back. Let's to pick up line 5. John's with us out of Waco, Texas. Hey, John, thanks for your patience.
Yes, I mess with 19th century guns a lot. And where can I find stocks? I've lost my supplier.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. Phagin, are you talking about just I don't even know where you go for. What kind of gun are you trying to find a stock for?
It's a 1870s rolling block Remington.
I don't know. I mean, when you start thinking about stocks, I think of companies like Phagin and such, but I don't think they're going to have anything like that. You may have to find a custom gunsmith to do something like that, a custom stock maker.
Okay. I can make one, but it's B1 for show, not for shooting.
I was going to ask Michelle if she has an idea where you might find a stock for an 1870 rolling block.
Yeah, I don't even know if they would have one on hand, but like Jack First or Numeric or, most of the places to use for the older or obsolete parts that, they still come across them. But, maybe even hitting up places like gun shows and that type of thing where you have collectors and, people take apart guns and they have sights and they have stocks. So that might be an outlet too.
Interesting idea. Yeah, good idea. Well, I wish you luck with it. I'm afraid that this is one where I can't do much. I think Michelle's got a better answer than I do. But thank you, John. I appreciate the call. Gary, Magnolia, Arkansas. Gary, what's this deal about your son-in-law?
Tom, it doesn't matter whether we're using thermal or night vision. On paper, he shoots beautiful. I mean, he can bullseye all the time. Mm-hmm. When we go to hog hunt, he shoots low almost 90% of the time. And I can't see what he's doing wrong. Of course, it's dark.
What kind of gun?
It doesn't matter. We're mainly doing this with ARs and 6.5 Grendel and 458 SOCOMs are the main calibers we're using.
Okay, how far low is he hitting?
Generally about 3 inches or so.
So he's hitting the animal. He's hitting the animal, but he's hitting it a little lower than he's aiming.
Yeah.
Is it possible? Have you actually? I'm just going to sound really stupid. Okay. Is it possible he's simply aiming at the wrong place?
I don't think so. I'm running ATNs, and so we video it, and whenever we see it, on the video, it's coming. I shot low. He knows he's shooting low. I mean, he admits to it looking at the video.
Well, let me ask you a question. When you're shooting at targets, is he shooting from a bench or is he shooting standing up?
Well, more or less from a bench, but we're shooting from a stand with a rail. So
when you're shooting hogs.
When shooting hogs, I mean, we're braced up either way.
Yeah. That's kind of a weird one. My first thought was a flinch, but if you're shooting from rails, that might not be it. I'm going to go back to my first idea, which is some people don't know. I mean, I would literally, it's going to sound really childish. I would draw out or have a picture of a hog and ask him exactly where the crosshairs are. Where are you putting the crosshairs on this thing? It's possible he's actually just holding lower than he thinks he is. I don't. Other than that, I got nothing.
I got nothing either, and I'm.
That's weird.
I'm your age, and I can't figure this out.
I'm just thinking, I'm okay if he can hit what he's aiming at. Otherwise, and when he's hunting, it's low. My first inclination is to say it's a flinch of some sort, and I'm still going to go to that. I think that's probably what's going on. I do have an idea.
Okay.
This is a weird idea, okay? But are you seeing enough hogs where you would have time, as crazy as this sounds, to dry fire on hogs?
Yeah.
Okay. I have seen some people who have a flinch who are just get a little bit nervous. I like on antelope. Antelope's a good one because they're out there far enough, and I just tell people, look, have them dry fire on them 10 or 20 times. So that after a while, it's just, okay, I got it. I'm just pressing the trigger. The crosshairs are staying where they're supposed to. Do it over and over again, and now just put a round in it and shoot them. And that has been a wonderful exercise. Now, you can't do it on deer, generally, but you could do it on pronghorn, and you could probably do it on hogs, because you got a bunch of hogs out there. Just take your time and just dry fire. Snap on them.
Well, I'm pretty certain the hogs will stick around because I have literally sat in the stand and talked to them. Talked in a natural voice.
Yeah.
And they just keep eating corn.
As long as there's corn out there, they're happy.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to ask the question that may seem obvious, but it might not be. When you're sighting in the scope, are you doing it at night? Is it in the same type of environment as when you're hog hunting? Or is it daytime?
No, we're sighting in daytime.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a good idea.
I'm wondering if you might need to switch that over and make sure that everything's sighted in as it would be in the element of hunting. So maybe he's not seeing the same sight picture or seeing the same view through the screen.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't thought about that. I mean, because I sight in the daytime and then I shoot at night, and I don't have a problem.
Or just ask the hogs to come around in the daytime.
Way.
Well, the other thing you could do is if you're going to shoot in the daytime, you could have him just sight in by closing his eyes.
Oh, my gosh.
Nice.
Okay, I win the stupid comment award today.
Yep.
No contest. I don't know. If you figure it out, call us back, because we're all guessing at this point. I don't know what's going on, but I like Michelle's idea. Try sighting in at night, see where he's hitting. But the other is, if it's a flinch, have him dry fire a little bit just to get real comfortable, and so he can practice really. hey, I want to hit something that's the size of a nickel. I'm not trying to shoot a hog. I'm trying to hit a nickel-sized spot on a hog.
Right.
All right. Good luck with it. I appreciate it, Gary. Well, that was interesting. I like that idea, Michelle, though I hadn't even thought of that, because the sight picture he's seeing in the day, particularly with these electronic sights, thermals and everything else, he may just be seeing something different at night. Who knows?
Right. It might not be as well defined, or, who knows what the situation is. And it could just be a little target panic, like you said, just a little bit of flinch because the animal's live in front of you.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Okay, so breathe.
Yeah.
Well, and that's where, when people get all nervous, get buck fever, if you will. And I said, look, if you're set up where you can actually have people look at the animal through the scope, just look at them for a while. Dry fire, click, click. And after a while, it's just like, okay, yeah, I got this. I can put the crosshairs on it. I can press the trigger. The crosshairs don't move when I press the trigger. They stay on the animal. Now let's just slide around in and shoot one. And that works really well.
I like it.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes total sense.
So, you been shooting anything?
Well, yes and no.
Oh, wait a minute.
Well, yes and no. We do have a development here.
A development? Well,
yes.
Hold your development while we take this break, because we'll let it develop a little bit more on the backside.
I can do that.
This is Ryan Gresham with Gun Talk. Visit guntalk.com/win to enter our latest giveaway. This month, enter to win with Surefire. One person will win Surefire's X300U handgun light, featuring a stunning 1,000 lumens. And two folks will win Surefire Stiletto rechargeable pocket flashlight. Enter now through August 30th at guntalk.com/win. That's guntalk.com/win.
Tired of searching the web for the best deals on guns, ammunition, and gear? Download the free Gun Dealio app today for deals and discounts right at your fingertips. Handguns, rifles, shotguns, ammo, optics, lasers, gun safes, targets, gun cleaners, grips, slings, and much, much more. Save money on products you want from the companies you love. New deals, discounts, and rebates added daily. Gun Dealio, available for free in the App Store and Google Play.
All right, we're back here, and Jim has teased us with a development of sorts. What have you been up to?
That's a broadcast term, Michelle. Tease.
It's okay. You know what that is? That's a free shot. You can just go ahead and hit him right now. Smack him.
Yeah, we've been talking about a shooting berm for a while, and on Tuesday it actually commenced.
Really?
It has begun.
How big is it so far?
About 6 foot. Well, it's supposed to be a boomerang shape, but I'm not there yet.
Okay.
Not to boomerang the rounds, by the way.
So how is it? Is 6 feet going to be the final height? Or
I'm going for about 10 to 12.
Nice.
Well, we're limited on the Bobcat height is what screwed us. So we're going to a front end loader. We can get way higher. But the Bobcat price was right. So
okay. I got you.
You got to roll with that. So
you got to do what you can do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we got. I'm still looking over some designs. We've got Thursday. We pick up all the railroad ties, so that'll be cool.
So what are you doing with the railroad ties?
We're putting them like in a C-shaped pattern. And if we, that's kind of what you put the targets up against. So
so you're putting those at the base of the berm?
Yeah, the base of the berm and around the actual shooting area. So the berm's going to be oversized for where our targets will go. So if somebody is astray.
As it should be.
Yeah,
yes.
Right, exactly. And then once we get that all situated in, we've got a straight line of fire. Then I'm going to look at stage 2, which will be the Gresham deflector you suggested, because I really like the idea.
Oh, okay, to keep rounds from going over the top.
Yeah, so if you're explain it, because the way you explained it to me made total sense.
Well, easiest way for me to describe it without seeing it is, everybody knows what a pergola is, where you have posts up there, but you have these horizontal beams that go across. Mm-hmm. Imagine that you put a pergola out over the range, you're actually shooting underneath it, and it goes from essentially the bench and out for another however long you want to do it. So you have these beams that go across, and another one that goes across, so that from the shooting position, you actually can't get a round to go over the berm. It will hit the beams before it goes up.
Yeah. They stagger, 3 or 4 of those out there?
Yeah, however long. I mean, you'll just have to eyeball it and go, okay, could I slip one through there? And I've seen it on a number of really good ranges. It's not a small thing to put those in.
Right.
I mean, it's, you're gonna find you're gonna say I need 3 or 4, and you're gonna end up putting 10 in.
Okay, gotcha.
It's a real thing, but it's a pretty slick way to keep rounds from escaping and going over the berm, especially, not your issue, but if you have somebody out there shooting with you and you're not as sure about their ability, or if you had a public range,
when we know I'm totally unsure of my own ability. Yeah. I see what you're getting at, Gresham. I get it.
No. Don't worry about it. It's one of those deals. I don't worry about you. Oh, by the way, did I mention I think I did. We had a concealed carry instructor shoot a student.
Oh, yeah, great.
Yeah. What?
Was he the only one in the room qualified to carry a 40 caliber?
Evidently. You're going, really? You're going, and then, of course, they said, well, it's an accidental shooting. No, it wasn't. Nothing accidental about it. It's negligence.
Yep.
You pointed the gun at somebody, and you pulled the trigger on a live round. There's nothing accidental about that.
How did that turn out?
The guy wasn't hurt really bad, and of course the sheriff's department said, whoops, sorry, accident.
Yeah, because the sheriff was the instructor.
Well, it's a little unclear. Not sure if it was a deputy or if it was somebody they had hired to teach for the sheriff's department. Either way, it doesn't really matter, other than, it's one of those just going, really?
Yeah, it's not somewhere where you can call a mulligan.
And I know people think I'm being harsh sometimes when I say, if your instructor gives you the willies, you need to go somewhere else. Because you know what the qualifications are? You know what you need to be an instructor? You need to call yourself an instructor. That's it. Now, yeah, if you're going to be an NRA certified instructor, you have to go through the course. And trust me, that is a very low bar. Trust me on that one. And some of these guys teaching, you've seen the YouTube videos of them. Mm-hmm. They're putting people down range and having people shoot. They'll have people stand between the targets down range and people shooting at the targets.
Yeah, well, there's that one instructor. He stands between the targets and has you shoot. To build your confidence.
Mm-hmm. And then one of the guys actually would have students stand down there and other students shoot past them. He says, because I want you to understand what it feels like to have bullets coming towards you.
No.
No. Not only no, but where's my car? I am so out of here.
My word.
Yeah, so because you react how you train. So if there's a mall shooting or something, you're going to say, there's the guy, I better go stand in front of his barrel.
That's right. Where's the target I can stand next to?
Yeah, I was trained that way.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
I don't know. I just, but I just want people to understand that just because someone proclaims himself or herself to be an instructor, it doesn't mean that they're actually any good, and it doesn't actually mean they're safe. You still are responsible for your safety. Don't outsource that even to the instructor. Mm-hmm. And if something's going on here, and it may be that it's okay and you're just not quite understanding it. And it's okay to say, hey, that makes me nervous. What are you doing there?
Could keep you alive.
It's okay to say that.
Just asking the question. Keep you alive.
I'm just asking the question. What are you doing? And if the answer doesn't make any sense, or you get, and Michelle, you've seen this with instructors, you get the put down answer of, basically, you don't know what you're talking about because I'm whatever.
Oh, you're a novice, aren't you?
I was a Ranger in SEAL Team Delta. What? Say what?
Wow.
Right.
That's impressive.
Yes, of course you were. Because you have an operator beard, so that must do something for you.
Nice tat.
God.
But what it does do is to some extent, it is a disgrace to the really good instructors that are out there.
Good point.
And there are plenty.
Yes, there are.
Oh, yeah, most of them are, actually.
Oh, gosh, that just makes your heart hurt.
Speaking of good instructors, Tiger McKee just had a piece in the Tactical Wire this week. I would really encourage people to subscribe. It's free. It's you can get the Shooting Wire, you can get the Tactical Wire from the same people. It just shows up in your inbox. But it was the whole thing was, should you get involved when you see something going on? And he said, here are 3 points to think about. And the whole deal was, he said, look, he says, when you get to be as old as I am, you realize that there are very few reasons you would go get involved in an altercation. Mm-hmm. That not trying to save the day. Basically, if it doesn't involve my family, I'm not going to do that. because there's an same stuff we talk about here. There's an excellent chance you're going to end up getting hurt or killed by the bad guy or another good guy or the police. And, the other part of it is people who say, well, I will take him into custody. I will hold him for the police. Mm-hmm. You don't have backup. You don't have handcuffs. You don't. And what do you do if the guy just says, I'm not staying down. I'm not going to stay here. I'm walking away. You're going to shoot him because he's walking away? Right. What are you going to do? Right. It's like, the same old deal, right? Hadn't thought of that. Yeah, I know, because you actually don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I agree with what you said to a point, Tom, but then when you hit the kids involved, I got to throw that away.
That's my line. I always say, when it's kids involved, I'm going in, and there it is. Yeah, and I know what the dangers are.
Because otherwise, how would you live with yourself otherwise? You couldn't.
Well, I couldn't. Right. Yeah. But if and we've done this thing on the first-person offender where we'll have somebody is like basically beating on a woman or they're fighting over there, and somebody decides they're going to come and save the day, and the woman turns around and shoots him.
Oh.
Oh.
Didn't think about that, huh?
That didn't work out the way I thought it was going to.
Well, that one Walmart shooting a couple of years back, that's what happened.
Well, yeah.
Confronted the one gunman, his accomplice took him out.
Yeah, the woman was basically following the gunman behind him. She's pushing a shopping cart, and she is, what do they call that? Basically an outlier, if you will, and waiting to see if somebody engages her boyfriend who is shooting up the place, and then she shoots this guy, the good guy, concealed carry guy, shoots him in the back of the head and kills him. One of those, man. But yeah, Tiger McKee's writings are always worth reading, and really would encourage people, if they're serious about this stuff, to go ahead and get the email subscription. As I say, it's free to the Shooting Wire and the Tactical Wire. Just go to those websites, Shooting Wire and Tactical Wire, and sign up for them. They show up.
It's free. We can afford that.
Yeah. Shooting Wire is 3 times a week, and I think Tactical Wire is either once or twice a week. But it's really good stuff. It's that kind of, I'd never thought of that stuff. Mm-hmm. Man. We just did first-person offender here. Shot some more segments, and let's see, we had a child kidnapping, which was one of those where the person involved goes, wow, I never saw that coming. I was looking at this guy over here, and it came from over there. Well, that's why we set them up that way. These are so much fun to do, because everybody, even the people who put them on, we all learn something every time we do them.
We can't wait for the Gun Talk crew version.
Oh, man.
You're going down.
On the way to the airport, knowing you.
No. I know what Michelle's going to do. We're going to go action. She's going to turn around and shoot everybody.
I've been waiting for this for 10 years.
She says, I'm the survivor.
Well, by the way, Tom, you and I both missed it, but a few shows back, we celebrated our 15th year together.
Oh, wow. Okay. Happy anniversary.
Yeah, I didn't buy you a cake or anything, but...
Well, I'll treat you like I did my wife. I just forgot about it.
Great.
So there it is.
Great.
And we are coming up on next March 5th, 25 years of Gun Talk.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I just ran across, I think you actually did the conversion for me.
Right, the first show.
We have show number 1.
Yeah.
And I think what we'll do, I think the smart move is to hold it until we hit our 25th anniversary. What was interesting about it was the guests we had. We had somebody from NRA ILA on for the first show. We had a number of different interesting people on for the very first show. Also, as I'm listening to it, I'm thinking, well, let's see, I sound scared to death. Well, that's because I was, because I had never been on the radio before, and how I have to fill, back then it was 2 hours. I had no idea what I was doing, and it sure sounded like it. It's of course, a lot of people say it still sounds like it, so that's okay.
It got you to the second show, and that's what matters.
That's right, isn't it? So that'll be fun.
Yeah, it's cool. I was eavesdropping when I transferred that, by the way. I couldn't just start the transfer and walk away. I had to eavesdrop.
So it wasn't transposing from like a telegraph machine.
It was a Braille. It was a wire recording on Braille transcript.
That's right. It was. You could hear the guy in the back kind of chipping away at the stone tablet. It's
squirrel turning the cage to give him power. Yeah. But it was
fun.
Cool. It was very cool. It was neat to see what it was like 10 years before we got involved, and how nothing got better when we got involved. It's amazing.
On a very interesting, weird personal level, and I'm listening to it, and I realize, well, one thing, my voice has changed a good bit since then.
Well, puberty and stuff. Yeah.
That's right. Thank you. I knew you guys were going to be there for me the whole way. I sound so much like my father.
Yeah?
Yeah, back then. But we were working in the office together. We spent, 8 hours a day together in the office. We're talking all the time. And I had just picked up a lot of his phrasing and inflection and all that. And as I listened to it, I go, wow, it's like listening to my dad.
Well, that's what you're surrounded by.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Saturation.
It's always people say, Tom, you're from the South, but you don't sound like it. I said, I always tell them it just depends on how much I've had to drink.
From a pretty much a non-drinker, that makes it even funnier, actually.
The more I drink, the more Southern I get, by golly.
Right.
So there you go. Well, this is going to be fun playing with these rifles. The Ruger number 1 that arrived in 6.5 PRC, it is their V model, Michelle, the varmint model. Well, which is fine for being accurate and all, but I don't know that I want to carry that thing up and down mountains.
A little heavy-barreled?
Little big old bull barrel on that son of a gun.
Take your wife hunting. If it's heavy, give it to her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's going to go over real well.
Can you say lead balloon? Sure.
So I think I may be cycling back to one of the 25 calibers, and I'm kind of torn between the 257 Roberts is a smaller, a little shorter, about of maybe as much as a half pound lighter, but that's only 8 ounces. And then you got the 257 Weatherby, which has a 28-inch barrel, which you can literally sight in to be point on to 400 yards. You don't have to hold over all the way out to 400, and you're not too high at mid-range. It's that fast.
It sounds to me like you've already got it set in your head.
Yeah, I do. I really do. I've never shot anything with a 257 Weatherby. I've never hunted with it, and I have with the Roberts. And so I think I have to do that and then just have the Roberts as the backup gun. Because, you always have to have a backup gun, right?
Yes, you do.
Yeah. Stuff happens.
It does.
Rather than say, well, gee, my scope got knocked out and I will sight in again. No, we're in the middle of deer hunting country here. You're just going to switch to the other rifle that's already sighted in and go use that one.
Amen.
That kind of deal. So I hate it when somebody gets to hunting camps and then starts warning to sight in his rifle. Let me just check my zero. No, I'm not going to have you shooting 20 times in the middle of where we're hunting.
Right.
Not happening. And then they go, well, I just, fire 2 shots. If it's on, you're done. I hate that they have to do that, but there it is,
Right.
So I'm kind of getting jazzed about hunting season now.
Lucky you.
Yeah. By the way, you guys got any dove hunts up there? I'm really in search of a dove hunt.
I mean, other than self-guided, no.
No?
Nothing I know of. Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, it wasn't that long ago you didn't have dove hunting at all in Ohio.
This is true. Very, very true.
It's been, in the last 20 years, it was, got it legalized. There was no dove hunting. It was the bird of peace in Ohio.
Right.
I remember that fight. That was something. Yeah, well, I'll keep looking. I've got this little 28 gauge that really needs to be exercised. So we'll go out and do that.
Any excuse, Tom.
That's right. Any excuse to get out. All right, so there you go. It's new calibers, new rifles. It's that time of year. We get to play with the new gear and crank it up. Hey, it's what keeps gun stores in business, Michelle.
It is, yes. We like it.
I know.
Now, any chance we could get updates as this goes on, Tom, or
updates on
your hunt? And you're not going to fill us in, are you?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Just a chance.
Really?
Now, for those who want to see where we go and what we do, we do have that video we did a couple of years ago of hunting mule deer. It's on YouTube. Mm-hmm. They can look for Idaho Passions, or we also called it Why We Hunt, because I did it. It's as much a why we're really out there as it is about the hunting part. The hunting actually is a smaller part of it, but that was fun. So it also was kind of an interesting experiment for us. It did not take a video crew at all. It was my buddy Mike and I, who Jim, Mike.
Yeah.
Mike and I, and we had a GoPro and our phones.
And it came out great.
And that's what we shot the video with.
And it came out great.
It's crazy what you could do now.
Yeah.
It was just kind of an experiment to do that. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go play with rifles.
Enjoy, buddy. Yeah,
Always.
have a great time with that, Tom.
Try to enjoy, even though you're not. You're building a berm. Don't give me a hard time here. You don't have your own place to shoot there, man.
Yeah, I'm going to name it. I'm going to call it A Shave, just to see
a berm, a shave.
Oh my gosh,
it's a reach.
All right, don't open the door this week. I will be sending a slapogram.
Thank you.
There you go. Bye, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Well, that wraps up another Gun Talk After Show. But if you want even more gun-related stuff, don't forget to check out Gundealio. It's the app for Apple and Android phones that connects you to all the Gun Talk shows, plus even more. And we'll catch you next time for the Gun Talk After Show.